Hooty hoo, all my stock market gamblers. Welcome today. It's Friday. Made it to the end of the weekend. Oh my goodness, what a week it was. Are you enjoying the volatility? The up, the down, the up, the down. Today we're down about 200 points on the Dow, 300 points on the NASDAQ. But by the end of the day, with this type of volatility, we may be up again. It's wild. I actually love this market. It's a trader's market. If you're a long-term investor, probably not sleeping that well at night, knowing that the stock market could crash at any moment. Do I think this is the crash? No, I don't. But I do think we're going to get that downward drift. We'll get a lot of volatility. Volatility is going to continue up and down, but the drift is downward. I think it's going to drift down until we're down about 10%. The 10% correction is going to come here. And then I do think we're going to explode higher to new record highs. They're going to keep printing the money. We're going to hit new record highs. But I do think we're going to get a pullback right now down to 10%. We're down about 5% right now. We're about halfway there. I think we got another 5% to go. And it's going to bounce higher off of that correction. And now, do I think the big crash is coming? I do. I don't think it's coming until next year. Next year, we're going to see that big crash. That big crash is going to bring the whole market down, probably 50%, probably a lot more than 50%. We're in these bubbles, you know. Now what I want to talk today about is, well, a different bubble, a stock market. It's one bubble, but the real estate market is a bubble. Now, a lot of people say it's not in a bubble this time, Mike. There's no subprime. It's not in a bubble. Well, subprime had nothing to do with the bubble. Okay, subprime was the pin that popped the last real estate bubble, but that's not what defines a bubble. A bubble is how far overvalued the properties are, how far the bubble has blown up. Real estate is overvalued at these levels. Look at it, it's way more. Look at, we were in a bubble before the subprime, right? Okay, everybody would agree with that because the bubble popped. Okay, so we have inflated the bubble much higher, and we never let the bubble completely deflate. Why? Because the Federal Reserve stepped in. They started QE. They printed the money. They lowered the interest rates. Interest rates have plummeted since then. Okay, that's why we're in a bigger bubble now. Look, if they had let the bubble deflate back then, it would have kept coming down. Now, what I'm looking for, and what a lot of people are upset about this prediction, but I'm predicting that the housing market will have a 50% correction. Now, why do I say 50% correction? Well, in the Great Depression, right? The Great Depression was only 26%. That's all the houses dropped in the Great Depression. It was just 26%. Now, why only 26%? Because in the Great Financial Crisis, we went down 34%. We went down more than we did in the Great Depression. Now, why? Well, in the Great Depression, things were different. You didn't have corporations buying all the properties. You didn't have the Federal Reserve holding interest rates artificially low. During the Great Depression, you could not go buy a house with 5 or 10% down. No, you had to put 50% down. 50% down in the Great Depression. That's why the houses only came down 26% in the Great Depression. Now, why do I think we're going to go down 50% from these levels? Well, I don't think that the financial crisis ever played out. I don't think, look, if they had let things drop, things fall, if they had let companies fail, like if they had let AIG go out of business, maybe Goldman Sachs would have gone down with them. They let Lehman Brothers go, you know, but they cherry picked, and then they started the QE. They started the printing the money, and this propped us up. I don't think we've ever had the big fallout from, you know, the financial crisis yet, and it's coming. I do think it's coming. I think it's still coming. And now, if we drop 50% in houses, 50% in houses from where we're at right now, we would only be back to 2012 levels. We're up 50% from 2012. Okay, so we got up 50% in the last 9 years, right? Now, could we go back to 2012? Is that possible? Is that even a possibility? possibility. I think it is a possibility. Now, could we overshoot? Could we go farther down than 2012? Yes, I believe that we could, because I don't think what stopped it in 2012 from going lower was the Federal Reserve, the printing of money, the lowering of interest rates. Look, they got interest rates pegged at 0%. I don't know how much lower you can go. It's crazy, some of the stuff that's going on. Now, many of you have heard, that they're extending the, FHA loans out to, well, $1 million now. These are the conforming loans, so it makes it easier to get these loans. They're keeping the rates so artificially low, it's ridiculous. Anybody can go out there and get a loan. Look, pretty soon, I actually believe this. I actually believe they're going to pay you to buy a house. Maybe, I don't know exactly how it will work. Maybe it'll be like no payments for the first 2 years. Just take the house, please, because we have too many houses. And things are never going to be the same again. Look, we're at this high right here. We're at this all-time high. And if you're going to get out, now might be a good time, but you need a place to live. I'm not saying go out and sell your principal residence, but if you have rental properties you want to get out of, now might be a good time, because we are still at the all-time highs. Now, we're at the calm before the storm right now. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, not much happens, but I think a lot of properties are going to be coming on in January. The reason being is the foreclosures. Foreclosures they're picking upward 60, 70% higher year over year. Well, last year we couldn't foreclose. The banks weren't allowed to. Well, now they're allowed to start foreclosing again. It's a slow process. But I think there's going to be hundreds of thousands of properties coming on the market from these foreclosures. These foreclosures are coming. I'm telling you. And we still have problems out there. We have problems. Now you heard about the Evergrande situation in China. Okay, everybody thinks that's just water under the bridge that the problem's solved. That problem is not solved. They don't have money to make their payments. Now, when they default, this is going to send a ripple effect through the stock market, a ripple effect through the real estate market. Now, you heard the Zillow problem. Now, Zillow, they bought all these homes, thousands and thousands of them, and now they have to get rid of them at prices below what they paid for. And Zillow stock is just going boom. It might, who knows? Maybe it goes completely bankrupt. They are a zombie company now. They're losing money hand over fist, and they have to borrow more money just to make the interest payments on their debt. It's a terrible situation for them right now, and I don't feel that bad for them, because I'm a real estate broker, and real estate brokers, we don't like Zillow. Zillow steals our listing information, and then they sell us leads when someone calls on our own listings. We have to pay Zillow just to get the leads. Well, that's just wrong in my opinion, but that's my opinion. But Zillow is a problem. Evergrande's a problem. Foreclosures, the forbearance is over. The eviction moratorium is over, and these are going to be problems. You still have hundreds of thousands of people out there not making a mortgage payment. Well, eventually they're going to get kicked out of their home. Look, I know we're turning into a socialist country, but you're going to have to make a mortgage payment if you want to live indoors. You're going to have to start paying your rent if you want to live indoors. It's just the changing of the times. Yeah, we got a lot of social programs out there where they're going to help you with the payments. Look at the government in their spending bill. They got $25 billion. They're going to start buying properties. They're going to buy these properties so that they can rent them out to low-income families. Okay, well, that may work for the low-income families. I don't know. Do I think it's a good idea? No, I think it's a terrible idea. I believe in free markets. Free markets should be allowed to fluctuate. There's no price disclosure. Look, nobody knows what a home's supposed to sell for, but I know they're not supposed to sell for up here because it's artificially high with the low interest rates. As soon as interest rates start going up, what happens? Home values, they start going down. Look, I think we're on the brink of a 50% correction, a 50%, and we're probably going to overshoot that to the downside. And it's going to take time to play out. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen this year. It's going to happen next year. 2022 is going to be a very interesting year for the stock market, for the real estate market. I think they're both going to have, well, I'm afraid to say it, but they're both going to come down 50%. And probably in 2022, if they can push the can down the road to 2023, I suppose that's possible. Maybe they start paying you to buy homes. Maybe they just give homes away for free. I don't know how they're going to fix it. I just know that there's a big problem. I don't think there's a solution. The solution is to go free market capitalism and let the prices adjust to where they may be. I mean, real estate really is a house of cards, but they don't want the prices to fall, because then people could afford to buy the homes, and that would be terrible, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be terrible if home prices became affordable? I'd just be atrocious. We can't have that. Let's keep interest rates pegged at zero. Let's pay people to buy homes. Let's extend the mortgages out to, well, at $2 million, so that you can get mortgages up to $2 million instead of just $1 million. $1 million's good, $2 million's better, right? Look, things are going to change out there, and they're going to change a lot in 2022. I think a year from now, we're not going to recognize what's going on in our country. I mean, just go back 2 years. Would you recognize it now? No, it's changed a lot. It's going to continue to change. You'll see. Well, anyways, that's all I got today. If you like this stuff, give me the thumbs up. You really like it? Punch that subscribe button. I'm Tall Mike. Get out there. Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll talk again next week. Bye-bye now.